on a daily basis. That could be like hiring someone new and generating an employee contract. That could be closing a deal, sending an invoice, or that could be working with a prospect and needing to create a quote. And there is definitely a need to automate the processes of document automation. But what do you need to do if it's really complex documents you need to automate? We have set up a session together, and we're going to introduce you today on how you can actually automate complex documents. And I'm Lisa. I've been in the Power community for quite some time now with a lot of sessions. I'm Senior Technical Evangelist at dox42, working a lot with documents and document generation. And I'm really excited that I'm joined by my colleague Fabian today. Hi, Fabian. Can you also introduce yourself? You're still muted, Fabian.
Sorry, now you can hear me, right?
Yes, now we can.
Perfect. So hello guys, I'm Fabian. I'm also Senior Technical Evangelist at dox42, and I am really excited to be together with Lisa today because she is our Power Apps, Power Automate and Flow expert at dox42. And I really have to tell you a little secret. When we are sleeping and relaxing, at home during the weekend or something, Lisa is playing around with Flow and is building Power Apps in her leisure time. So couldn't be better to do it together with Lisa today. And before we lose too much time, I would say, Lisa, let's get started, right?
Yes, but before we get started with the serious stuff, let's talk about something else. So I just mentioned that we love the Power community, and the ones of you that have followed the Power community and also dox42 a little bit might have seen us at some events already. So we have some pictures here back in the days pre-COVID where we were in Amsterdam. We have pictures. We were in London meeting Russ. This is exactly 1 year ago today. We were in Munich. We were in Dublin. We were in Zurich. We were in Brussels. A lot of events where we were part. And we always, when we come to those events, we always have something to give. We always bring something. And if you have a closer look at those pictures, you can see some Lego sets. They have something in common. So Darth Vader is holding one, and then a few other ones on the other pictures are also holding Lego sets. And we thought today it's a virtual session, but we also want to give you some. So we're going to have a raffle for you today where you can win such a Lego camper van set. It's really cool and it's a lot of fun to build it. And we're not just giving it away, we are asking something of you. We are making a small automation quiz, and Fabian is showing you the QR code, which you can scan, and the questions you can, you will see to take part in that raffle quiz.
Yes, and exactly. I just posted it also in the chat, so you can participate here and win the Lego at the end.
Exactly. And just a small more hint for you. You could already start filling it in, but you should pay close attention to it because there might be a hint along the way in the demo. But Fabian, please tell us, what should the people pay attention to today in the next hour?
Yes, thank you, Lisa. And you see here, this is the table of contents today for our session. So in the beginning, we will talk about document automation. And yeah, we saw the session before, but I will just show you what's the difference between our documentation and what we have seen before. And then there are just 3 or 4 slides about dox42, and actually this session is more or less a live demo session. So we will generate an employee contract first just with dox42 and then with Flow automatically. So, and in this part, please pay attention because there is the hint for the number, question number 3 in the quiz for the Lego. Then Lisa, as I said, built a Power Apps just to generate contracts, for example, with Power Apps or any other documents. And then there is the setup of our Power Apps, how we would do it. And then you will see a very interesting common scenario that we have exactly one reference customer doing quotes from Dynamics exactly in this way that we will see from Lisa later on in CE and with modules from SharePoint, for example. And then if we have enough time, I don't know if we make this until the end, but if we have enough time, I will template design from scratch one little employee list for you that you can see how it would work to design all your templates in Microsoft Office. And of course, there will be a Q&A at the end. And what we thought that it would be a little bit more interesting if we have some interaction right now. So normally when we have the sessions right now, then I would ask you, the audience, you guys, do you know already dox42? Now I cannot do it because, I would do it with my new forms I just created for you. So if you just take out your phone and scan this barcode, for example, or I can even put the link again to the into the chat. Would be great to see. There's one already who voted. Would be great if you participate here in this little survey. So there is the QR code on the right hand side to make it a little bit interactive. And I also just copied this one into the, I post the link into the chat. Here it is. The link, and I quickly show you the barcode again. So I'm really excited to see there are 18 responses so far. So good. Red means that you can learn a lot. That is great. And now there are a lot of people answering the questions. Very interesting. And a lot of people already know us from the Power community, which is great. Thank you, Raz, for this. We actually love the Power community. And there are all the responses coming. That is great. So there's still, Lisa, it's good that we are here. You see, there's still a lot of people not knowing dox42, which is very good.
Something new to show to the people today.
Yeah, that's awesome. But still, a lot of people know us from the Power community. This is great. There's a happy customer as well, even better. So great. Then I will jump back into my PowerPoint presentation and will show you what I mean when I talk about document automation. And when we talk about document automation, as I said, you have the result of any business process is always a document. And there are huge tools, workflow tools in so many ways to automate business processes. But most of the time, the document is forgotten. And then everybody is just copy pasting all the documents and not automating the documents. And this is why we are here. And we would like to show you that you can automate at least almost any kind of documents. And when we talk about the documents, I mean structured. We need structured data. But when here in the Microsoft platform, we have structured data. So you see, you have the FinOps, for example, or the Dynamics platform, Business Central, SharePoint, any other SQL or Excel at least, that provides us structured data. And if we have structured data, you can automate any document. And when we talk about the documents, sometimes you have internal reports. They are not very special. You don't need to automate them. You can use standard built-in out-of-the-box tools from Microsoft. But when it comes to documents that has to be in the hand of customers, or where you need some, complex logic into it, where you have some modules different, when we talk about sales quotes, for example, then they are most of the time, and this is, they're a little bit more complex than just listing some items. And then also if you have sales presentation, PowerPoint presentation, or investment proposals, invoices, whatever kind of documents that has to look great, where you wish that you can design them in Microsoft Office without any programming and without any tags or XML tags or something, then you are completely right here with dox42, and we will show you how it works. So this is actually my experience when it comes to document creation in real life business. There is copy paste. This is one of our biggest competitor, I would say. That doesn't, it is okay. If you have one quote a month, you can copy paste it together. This is not a problem. But if you have 50 or 100 quotes a month, then it's not a very good choice to create your documents. You are still flexible and individual, but you're very slow and you're very error prone because we are humans and no machines. And that's the reason why you should automate these kind of documents or the process of the document generation. And then there are some colleagues in your company most of the time. They are building and creating some VBAs for you, which is good. If you are still flexible and individual, you have a little part of automation, but that's it. Because there are, in our customers, they are just coming to us and saying, hey, the guy who built all the VBAs is retiring, and we don't know how to adapt anything. And so they start from scratch again, and that's not really the best way to generate your documents as well. And then what Microsoft also or other systems provide you is SSRS, server-side automation. This is great. This is performance. You can really 24/7 send out the documents. This is good, but still all these documents has to be programmed. So you see this corporate designed by IT. This is most of the time ugly. So I haven't seen a very nice insurance policy that is automatically created from these kind of SSRS reporting. So in this case, it is not a good way, and I want to show you also what is actually the cost of manual document creation. And here I just took out a sample, a really normal sample from a mid-sized company or small-sized company. It's like 600 documents a year, at least 50 quotes, for example, per month. And when we talk about quotes, as I said, you have around 60 minutes per document. If you're a construction company, you have sometimes quotes like 100 pages or something, then it's definitely longer. But normally, I would say an average is 60 minutes. And then if the person who creates these documents manually costs 50 euros per hour, you will see it's a 30,000 something. And this person is doing mistakes. That's normal. I did this as well. Everybody's making mistakes when it comes to copy pasting and stuff. So you have this part as well. And then you see some damages, of course, if you make errors. And let's say we say here with the manual document creation, you are at 35,000 in this sample company. And when you do it with dox42, you need 12 minutes. And the 12 minutes is you need 1 second for a document, completely automatically generated. And you can buy one dox42 server, for example, for 6,000 euros or something. So you will see there is no errors anymore. There is no time wasting, no damage. And you save then a lot of money if you automate all these kind of documents that are usually manually created. And this just gives you a quick overview. We saw what is great. Server-side automation, dox42 has a server included, many data sources. Yes, we can include a lot of data sources. Document design attractive. This is important. You have all designing tools in Microsoft Office. Of course, no code, no programming, very flexible and standalone. So you have a yes everywhere with dox42. And flexibility, yeah, that brings me a little bit to the flexibility. So exactly yesterday, I had a meeting with these 3 guys, marketing, business department, and IT. And the business is always responsible for the content of documents. Marketing, they want to have the correct corporate identity, for example, and IT has to program it somehow. And we said from dox42, wouldn't it be great that these 3 guys work together on one document? And this is what happens. We have your Office documents where you design the documents without any programming, and then IT provides some data map, for example, and marketing can do changes by their own as well. Can you please mute your microphone, or do you have a question? Perfect, thank you. So, and that makes us, this process, this document generation process makes us very flexible. And you see, we are sitting in Vienna. We have over 100 partners globally. And if you are interested in becoming a partner, just send us an email. Afterwards, we are always looking for new partners because we are a sheer software developer and we have over 400 customers. You see here some reference customers. The most important thing is that documents are needed across all industries. And that is also the reason why we have customers across all industries. And our USP is the designing in Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And of course, you can integrate different data sources and also can define your document output as you need. So then I have just 2 or 3 examples for some reference customers. This one is ABB, and they are building turbochargers for huge ships and container ships and something. And they built a service platform based on Dynamics CRM, and they are generating high quality service reports actually with images, with calculations, everything happen in the background. And but what you can say always say is a good use case is always office orders, invoices, all these documents that are in the hands of customers, as well as sales presentations. A lot of customers are now interested in presentations in PowerPoint automation. We will see this in our demo as well. And just, and we will also, of course, employee contracts. And I'm doing the demo with the contracts as well. So you will see how it works. And I selected this slide for professionals, this slide for professional service as well. There is Jones Group. I mean, Lisa, this is a customer from you, I guess. It is about PowerPoint automation in SharePoint with our cloud service as well. And they said in the reference that they cannot live anymore without dox42. And if you see how much time you will save if you automate these recurring documents that you always create for each customer, then you definitely cannot live without dox42 anymore. Good, and then here there's this Rewe scenario. Rewe is a huge supermarket chain in Austria, or actually Germany and Austria. And this is an NAV / Business Central scenario. They are ordering container ships automatically with dox42. And you see there is a huge scenario, very interesting. Not only one container, a container ship. So they really rely on our functionality, on our quality. And there is Elena Schneider. She said the break-even point was reached after 4 weeks. So we saw the calculation in the beginning. You see, of course, you can reach break-even point if you automate all these recurring documents pretty much with dox42. So I was talking a lot about who we are and some reference customers and document automation. And now my question is actually, Lisa, how does it really work? Can you tell us something? How does dox42 work?
Yes, of course. And I'm going to start with the theory, and later on we're going to skip to the practice. But let's first have a look on how actually the template design looks like with dox42. So on the next slide.
Lisa, you need to share the screen because I'm still sharing, I guess.
Yes.
Or maybe I
wait a second. I can do the sharing. Yeah, and now you should be able to see my screen.
Okay.
So basically, yes, great. We mentioned that with dox42, we're really business user focused. We really want to empower the business user to design and design the documents themselves. There's no IT needed in the background. There are no complicated XML tags, no programming, and you can design here with an add-in up here. You can design your templates within Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. All three are possible. And here we can see a template, and here's the generated document with it. So we can see that you can really not just generate really basic and design really basic documents, but the ones that are also really complex. Like here we have a sales report. We can see Selina Bentley, so we have textual data, but we also have pictures that are included dynamically. Here we actually have dynamic graphs, so dynamic charts can be inserted for any report you could think of, or even dynamic tables could be something which you will also see later on. You could add calculations, you could add conditions, you could create barcodes. There are so many things which you can do within Microsoft Office with our template design. And when it comes to designing those templates, of course, what's at the core of those documents are the data. And here we can see the data sources which you can integrate without programming. So dox42 is very flexible on that. So if you're using Microsoft SharePoint, you can integrate that. But if you're also using data from Dynamics 365, for example, CE, you can also integrate that. That could also be SAP, XML, JSON, web services, databases, and many more. And plus, in one document, you don't need to separate between data sources. You can just mix them. So, for example, a sales quote, which also with data from Dynamics CRM, which also integrates some data coming from SharePoint. And we have prepared some live demos for you today revolving around those technologies. But we can also be a bit flexible on what you want to see and what to show you if there's enough time left. And so what we want to know from your side is what technologies are you interested in? So the next QR code, please to scan, and then answer. And I think Fabian also just posted it in the chat.
Yes, I did. And I just take the screen again, okay, to see what the responses will be. We are very interested, of course. So here we are. What technologies are you interested in? Of course, you can multi-select. And let's click on the responses here. Yeah, Power Apps is the leading technology. Power Automate as well. That's good, Lisa, that we prepared something, and also will generate our documents with Power Apps. Awesome, interesting. CE also will be covered, of course. And there we see FinOps. Yeah, that was last week, I guess. Last Friday was the FinOps Saturday. And there is Business SAP also is interesting, okay? And one is others. Good. Perfect.
Cool. I think we've prepared the right examples for today.
Yeah,
Maybe not so much
so.
SAP, but we can take that separate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Good. So let's get back to business, to the presentation again. Thanks for sharing that. So those are the data sources. And of course, I've mentioned without programming. So you actually, within Microsoft Office and Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, you have our data map designer where you can connect to your data sources, to all your data sources automatically, and you can use Azure Active Directory for that. So you can use really the business logic and like the permissions of your Microsoft user. And once you have that, once you have connected to your data sources, you can just with a simple drag and drop or with a double click add those data fields to your document, and then the design is just like you used to within Microsoft Office. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, if you've ever designed a document, for example, if you ever set up one, you will be familiar with dox42 in quite just a short time. Then Excel can be used as a really powerful calculation and charting engine. So for example, you have data coming from Dynamics, coming from SharePoint, and you have some charts, something which you really want to have visualized. You can make that dynamic with charts in Excel and then integrate them back dynamically into your documents or in your presentations. You could also use it for further calculations. It's one thing, QR codes and barcodes. An example, sending invoices, or I think last year it was introduced in Switzerland that it's required for every invoice to have a Swiss cross like in the middle of the QR code, and that's also something that's really easily possible with dox42, just a click of a button, and you can integrate that data into your complex documents. And then the output, of course, that's another thing, and that's also something we will show you in the live demo. So it's when we talk about the document generation, it's not just the part of generating a PDF, for example, or generating a Word. This is very, very useful, and that's what's needed, but also sometimes you need to automate further. So for example, when you generate your document, you should also be able to store it automatically to SharePoint, to add some metadata, make it available in Teams to collaborate. You could also send it straight away by email, or having a draft email which already contains the document and have your email body incorporated sign. That's a possibility. Signing with DocuSign. It's also possible. Electronic signatures are also part of the automation process, and even much more like custom output is also always possible. We want to be the flexible tool which you can use in any of your output management needs you may have. And then, of course, and that's also a big topic of today, that you can automate your documents from any business process and workflows. Focus of today is Power Automate and Power Apps. But if you're also using any other workflow tool, I saw that there was also a session about mean text today. Dox42 could also be integrated in that, or with Firestarter or with K2. Really, any business process management tool you're using, automation tool you're using, Dox42 can flexibly be integrated with that. And yes, so much about the theory. Fabian, can you now give us the proof that what I just said in theory is also working in practice? Can you do that?
Yes, absolutely, Lisa. Thank you so much. I see we have one question already, so maybe we will wait until the end because I'm pretty sure that will be answered within the demo. So I also switch on my camera that you can see me, and now we are here in. So can you see us? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Good. Then we will start with the employee contract. As mentioned before, I will generate a new employee here, or I will create a new employee and hire a new employee. That's me actually, and then we will also do this automatically with Flow. And Lisa will show us how she can generate this contract then with Power Apps. And also she will show us the setup in Power Apps, of course. And then there will be the interesting scenario, the quotes, which combines data, or actually which create a quote, which generates a quote with Dynamics 365 and SharePoint modules and save it there. So there are a lot of possibilities. And then at the end, there will be template designing. So we will show you how you can template design from scratch, just in 5 minutes, one employee list. And also this employee list I will generate in SharePoint, and that will be a PowerPoint presentation. So that covers quite a lot, I guess. Okay, then let me jump into my environment here. This is a very easy SharePoint list. I call it Modern Employee Contracts, and there I would like to add a new employee, and that's going to be me. I click here on New. And we say, now it is very important to be focused and to pay attention if you would like to answer the question number 3 from our quiz. And if you want to win the Lego, then please pay attention now. So that's Fabian Huber. That's me. That's my name. So I also have an email address. You can send me an inquiry, any inquiry if you want. It's dox42. If you have any question, there you have it. Then there is my phone number. I just add something here. And my position is going to be sales manager. And what I have here is a special agreement. And this special agreement is going to be a rich field. The special agreement is a red Porsche, because I like Porsches and I really want to have this one. And to show you that it's really red, I will make it bold and of course red. So this is very important for me to start at dox42. And now I add something of a salary and I save this item here. And now we see here a new item, Fabian Huber, and this is sales manager, and he want to have a red Porsche. So what I would like to do when I would work in HR, I would want to generate this document. So there's a lot of possibilities. Now I click here, select my employee, Fabian Huber, and there you see a dox42 button included. It's actually a SharePoint app which generates the document, and behind this button there are some output actions. We have seen a lot from Lisa, there are a lot of output actions, but we just configured here some of them. And there is, of course, we can generate this document and just save it to our contracts library, or just give it a return action. That's a PDF that is generated then, or also you can send it via email to me, to this client email. We can then do a draft email, for example. Also, we could send it directly to DocuSign and then let's sign by DocuSign. So what I would like to show you first is just the return action. I would like to show you how this contract looks like. So let me generate this one. What's happening now is there is a template, and this template is here. We will see this. And this template is just automatically filled from dox42 with this information. And you might have noticed that I'm sales manager, here is trainee and developer. And based on that, there's logic included into the document. So I open this one quickly. That's just the so-called return action. I zoom a little bit out here, and we will see a new employee contract. Great, Fabian Huber, that's correct. We have a table of content here. This is also good. Then there is some data. This is my email and my name. Perfect, sales manager, looks good. The salary, and there is some free meal and something. And if I go further down, the most important thing, the red Porsche special agreement. And now I go a little bit further, and that might answer the first question. So you can, of course, combine different documents. Here, this one is a Word document, and this is the sales remuneration policy. And of course, the developer and the trainee, they have different policies. And okay, can you please mute? Perfect, thank you. So this is a Word document, and this also contains metadata, Fabian Huber and Sales Manager, and I will show you then this document later. So actually this looks good for me. That's a good contract, and I will show you now the template for this contract, and we will change something within the template, and then we will let Flow do the work and let Flow trigger the process of document generation. So first of all, I go to my templates library here. And there are our Office templates. So designing happens at Microsoft Office. There are a lot of templates, different templates. I take our Flow template in this case, open this one in our, in Word, exactly in Word. And then I will quickly show you how it would work. So you start from scratch, not only from scratch, you can use your templates, of course. You will have some at your company. You might get this one from your marketing department, and then you start just connecting to data. And therefore, here you have an dox42 add-in, and with this add-in, you can connect your data sources. There's the data map. This is a little data map window opening here, and you see all these different data sources we were talking about. So here, the ERP systems, SAP. So for those of you who are interested in SAP, you can directly connect to your SAP system and integrate it here into the document. And you can combine all these data sources. So here in our case, we have an Excel for the connection connected and only the SharePoint site. And the policies also are stored in SharePoint. That's our Word document. So you can combine everything here. This is what you do first. And then you insert data fields. So you click here, you get all the data fields shown here, and then you can add them wherever you want, wherever you need them. And this is not an XML tag. You can define it as you need. So let's do this. I go here and say, I want to have here something like the ID of the customer, of my ID. And this ID is supposed to be a barcode, for example. So here, this is where you select your data, your required data. So it can be an image, it can be a barcode. There are a lot of possibilities that we can integrate, but let's take the barcode here, and I give it a dimension like 40. It's a very small one. And here you see a lot of different barcodes. You can use all of them, of course, out of the box. So this data field is now defined as a barcode. And what I would like to do now is I would like to generate this document and to see how it looks like now, So let's do this. So you can always test and look how this document, if you are happy with the document, how it looks. So then I generate this one here locally, and there is a little drop down that shows me all these employees. They are listed here, and here this is Fabian. So let me generate again my contract and see how it looks like with barcode and the address section. And to show you this one, I put this side by side, and there, let's put this like this and this. Let's see if, yeah, it's good. So what happened? You see, this is a data field coming from SharePoint, my name included. Then there is a table of content. This is just one page, but at the end, we added the sales remuneration policy, and now automatically the table of content is extended. Then I go further down. You will see here, this is the field I added. That's the barcode. So here it is. And this is information from SharePoint. The position is marked as bold. So that's the reason. So if I show you this quickly, here it is bold. So that's the reason that why a sales manager is bold here. So you really use designing tools. You use the text that you see, the blue text, you can use it as it would be Word. And that makes the designing process very common and easy. And that is the first little error that I see here. You see, this one is not bold. So let's do this quickly. I just click here and say it is bold. And also you see here, if I open this one quickly, you see it is defined as number, and you can also use all your format strings that you or your country is requiring. And then if I close this, I say, okay. So let's see if it's still bold. No, so now it is bold. So, and then I go further down. You see here in number 7, there are the first conditions. So I'm sales manager, I get all of them. And here you can add conditions around text blocks, such as this little sentence here. And the conditions are just added here with automate range. You see there is this little window where you can say candidate position has to be sales manager, and then this one is included. And as well, the trainee, only the trainee gets the free meal, the others get the other things. And here as well, you see this part as I'm a trainee, a sales manager, I get this part included. So here you can add a little bit logic as well. You can add these conditions around text blocks, or around data fields as well. And there is my data field, the special agreement, and here it is included. And then there is the last page. You see this is one tag, and that's defined as Word document. It is stored in SharePoint as well, and it's the sales remuneration policy, and it's including here this document. Good. Now I changed something. What I would like to show you, in this case, I close my sales manager and I again generate this document for my for a developer or for a trainee, for example. That's Michaela Mitarbeiter. Then you see the difference. The difference that there are just some parts not included.
Fabian, can you maybe switch off your video? I think the demo is a bit slow. I don't know if it's my connection, but better switch your video off.
I will. So perfect. Thank you for the hint. Good. So this is now Michaela Mitarbeiter. She is trainee, and you see here the barcode is included. Then I fixed the salary in this bold. It is fixed. Then she is only a trainee, so she only gets the free meal. And there is no the special convenience. She has another special agreement, of course. And here you see the policy is completely different. It's definitely shorter. It's a different Word document. Good. Let me close this one, and also let me close the template here, and let's go back. Oh no, I show you quickly the policies as well. So let me show you the sales manager policy. That's the Word document that is included, and you see there is a different font. So it takes actually the layout and the font from the master template. So this is the sub document that is included at the end. Good. Then let me go back to my employees. And I will show you how Flow can generate now the new contract, because me as a sales manager, I really have not only there is a zero missing actually, so I need a little bit more money, and I want to have the 10,000. Of course, that would be a great amount of money for me. This is what I'm worth. So let's wait a second. Now here is 10,000, and what is happening right now? We changed this. This item here, and Flow is triggered. Flow generates, triggers dox42 server and regenerates this document again, and it will store it to SharePoint to our all contract library. So this is the all contract library. I quickly will sort it here. So newer to the older. Let's see if it already worked. Not yet, but I'm sure in a second. Yeah, here it is. So you see Flow a few seconds ago. That's the Flow contract. We just named it Flow contract. We took the employee ID, so you can also write metadata. And now let's open this one. We expect right now 10,000 euros, and we also expect a barcode included. So there's no programming needed. You see here the barcode. I just defined it here, and there is my 10,000 salary. And the most important thing, the red Porsche here, special agreement also is included. So that's, you see, so we just added a flow on if the list item is changed, then trigger dox42. And so you can automate also the generation process of your documents or contracts in this case as well. Good. Now it would be great to see, Lisa, if we can generate this on the fly with a Power App. Is this possible? What do you think?
Yes, of course. And of course, that's what you said in the beginning, the little secret. That's what I was working on in the weekend, to provide another interface for the employees. So if you don't want them to go to the SharePoint list to generate the documents, they can also do that from a simple Power App. And so what I have here now, I have my dox42 new hires Power Apps, which I generated, and I'm just going to refresh the list. But we can see I just refreshed it before as well, because here we also have Fabian included already in my list. So basically that's my SharePoint people, and I'm gonna generate also for Fabian first the document. So here I just click here, and here I have all my details from SharePoint. So the title, the mail, the position, how much he's gonna earn, so the 10,000. Here the special agreement, that's in that's the rich text field. That's why it's formatted like this. And all I need to do right now, I'm part of the HR team, I just say generate employee contract, and now in the background also a flow is triggered, a Power Automate flow, and now the document is generated from this Power App and stored in my SharePoint library. And now let's have a look in my SharePoint library. So go back to my SharePoint, and I'm going to refresh this page. And then I'm also going to sort newer to older. And then we see a few seconds ago, I generated it because we're using Azure Active Directory, and we have the contract Fabian Huber Power Apps here again. And then if I go down, we can see this, and we see the 10,000. But I'm the HR manager, and I think that 10,000 is a bit too much of a salary per month. I'm gonna reduce it, even though Fabian is a very good employee. I'm gonna say, okay, 8,000 should be okay for now. Sorry, Fabian, but it's my decision. So
okay, no worries.
Good. I hope we're still friends afterwards. Good. So now what I want to show you with that is I'm regenerating the contract clicked on here. And if I go back, and then we have a few seconds ago, I'm going to refresh anyways once again. To see a few seconds ago, we have Power App contract, and we have the 8,000 salary included. And of course, there's the version history you could be working with. So if it reverts back to the 10,000, you could just restore the other version. Good. And now let's have a look. So this is the ready Power App. Now let's have a look on how I actually set up this Power App. And it's really easy. So if we go, now I need to sign in again. Here we have it. So here we are within my Power Apps setup. And basically here I just started from my SharePoint list. And then if I show you in my detail screen, here I've added a button with generate employee contract, and this was an action button, and I can have a look at this action that I've added a Power Automate flow there. And this is actually a Power Automate flow, which is called Power Apps Employee Contract. And now I'm going to show you how actually what's behind that flow that is triggered, that Power Automate flow that's triggered once I click on here. So here I am, my Power Apps employee contract, I have it. And if I have a look here, how is this flow set up? So basically my first trigger is my Power Apps. So and then within Power Apps, whichever item I have selected, SharePoint gets my item from my SharePoint list, which I want to apply to each. And then here I have a condition. So actually, basically, we're taking the ID of the employee. I have a condition. And if I've selected one, then yes, create dox42 employee contract. And this is at the moment a custom connector, a Power Automate custom connector, which we've set up, but there will be a premium connector launched soon. So that's going to be even nicer to work with Power Automate. And here we can see that the contract will have like a dynamic name, for example, that's added. We're even writing dynamic metadata and so on. And that's all the magic that's behind this Power App, basically working with this flow. And just to show you again, back here, we have here with the metadata that was written dynamically. Good. And that's the one scenario, and with the Power App and with flow from SharePoint. But since a lot of you were also interested in dynamic CRM, I'm also going to show you a complex document generation from Dynamics CRM. Basically here in CRM, I'm working with my quotes, and I'm selling solar panels in my scenario. This is a complex quote. I have here 3 products. I have solar panels, I have panel holders, I have batteries, I have an ID, customer information, but a quote in this size, a quote with all these products needs more information. And that's why a whole project team has worked beforehand on providing input for that scenario, for that project. And what they have done, we have taken this quote ID here, And we've added actually a folder to SharePoint where everyone was able to upload their documents that are required within the quote that should be included. So if we have a look here we have our quote ID, and here we have a few documents that were added. So let's have a look. The first one is a cover letter, so really like a personal information for the customer we want to include in our quote. That is added. And then we have an Excel. So I think that's answering the question. So here we have an Excel that's actually working with some formulas here. So if I say, okay, we need 15 hours, here we have actually a calculation, it's changing here, and then we're going to integrate that back later on into the document. So I hope that's answering the first question that we've had. We have some further information for marketing, and we have a PowerPoint presentation and so on. So we have all of that which we want to include, but me as the sales manager, I don't want any manual effort. It takes so much time. I want to sell. I don't want to compile documents. So what I can do is I can just go here, and here have a lot of output actions, and I'm going to firstly start by saying I want to have a PDF quote returned for my solar panels quote. And then what it's doing in the background is dox42 is actually generating the document, and it's integrating data from Dynamics CRM, and it's also integrating the data from SharePoint, and it's returning it to me here in my document. So here we have address details from Dynamics. Here we have our first Word document stored in SharePoint, which you've seen. We have a dynamic table here with also some pictures. The table would expand if there would be more pictures. And here we have actually the Excel that was stored on SharePoint. And here with the 15 hours, so you see that it was live data, and back down the PowerPoint presentation on SharePoint and the further Word document. And basically there is something I also see. So Fabian was paid too much, and here I see we're giving too much discount. I don't like it, so I'm going to change the discount. Too much. So before I send the document out, I say, okay, I don't want 10% discount. I'm going to give 7% to the customer. And I'm saving this information. And now what's happening in the background is that the Power Automate flow is triggered, and it's regenerating my document, and it's storing it to me to SharePoint. So I can always make sure whenever I do some changes to my quote, it's going to be stored again on SharePoint. But before I'm going to show you the generated document, I just want to show you like some more actions here, like one more, the create draft email. So while it's automatically archived on SharePoint, I can make sure that everyone, all my colleagues know, okay, the current version is stored on SharePoint. I can already send that quote out to the customer. And what I have here is I have a draft email that was generated for me. In the attachment, I have my PDF. Here we can see the 7% discount. It's the same document. And also this text here, this was a dox42 Word template, which we then generated as an email. So you can even add your corporate identity to your emails. You could still adjust it, say you are the best customer, and then send the email out to the recipient that we've mentioned in CRM. That's something you could do. And in the meanwhile, to prove you, if I go back to my SharePoint, my sales quotes, we have about a minute ago, my quote was generated with the flow. Good. And what we also have in here 7 hours ago, I also have an updated document. It's called Automated Flow Update. That's because we've scheduled that every Friday at 7, every Friday morning, the quotes that are like changed and so on should be stored automatically to SharePoint again and done with and set up with Power Apps. And just the last minute to show you actually how that flow looks like, so you can have a look at that, is here we say when a quote is modified within Dynamics CRM, then call dox42 to generate the document and store it to SharePoint. And here you can see that we have a lot of dynamic data here included, like here for the quote name and also again for metadata that's written. And good, that was the live things I wanted to show you, the Power Apps and the flow and all the different data and scenarios you could do with dox42. And now back to Fabian. Can you maybe give us a summary on what we saw and what's important with dox42 document automation?
Yes, absolutely, Lisa. But I guess we will jump into template design as well. So I guess we have 8 minutes left. So what I would like to do is I would like to show you the template design, and I'm sure that I will manage that in the next 6 minutes. I have a special list here. That's an employee list. There are just some of the employees here listed, name and also some achievement. And I also, of course, can sort here if I want. So if I want to see the best one on top, then let's say we want to generate a PowerPoint presentation with these 3 best employees here. So again, I click here on dox42 button, and there is a different design. Let's take the second one here. And that generates me a PowerPoint presentation, including the data here, and also including sales figures and sales calculations from each employee here as Excel charts actually into the document. So this is the one scenario, and then I will just for you design the template. Yeah, let's see. Okay, 7 minutes left. Let's see if we will manage this, but I guess we will. So I open this PowerPoint presentation quickly. You see the images included into PowerPoint. You see this data is from SharePoint. This is the images, and here each employee has different sales figures, different sales, different diagrams and graphs. So this could be from your ERP system, from your CRM system, all the sales data to each employee, and then you can list it or show it here as a graph. Good. That's the one scenario, so you get your PowerPoint, but also I would like to show you a scenario, the employee list as PDF, for example. So let's generate this one as well. And actually, I would love to design this one, but I see we have 5 minutes left, and I would like to have some time left for the questions and also for the summary. So if you want to see me designing this template, then just go to our homepage, to our contact form, and just type in there, please, Fabian, I want to see designing this template. I would make it in 2 minutes, but I cannot right now because, yeah, the time is running out. So that's the only thing, or next time, maybe if you do it next time. So let's jump into the summary. And if you want to see me template designing, go to our contact form at dox42.com and just type, Fabian, please design me this template, and then we will do this in an extra meeting for you, or maybe in a webinar if you're a lot of you guys. So quick summary, you see document automation, it is a very important part. Not only the process is very important to automate the process, but also the document. And most of the time you have very complex documents. Not every time, then you can use other tools or out of the box tools. But if it's a little bit more complex, use dox42, because you can really easily design your templates in Office. And of course you see what you can save. You can save a lot of time. And that's, I guess, the most important part at this slide here. And now we have, right, kind of 5 minutes left for some questions. And Lisa, can you maybe moderate or read the questions? I've seen one that I can answer directly. That was about the PDF conversion, right? Here I see one.
Yes.
Is it OneDrive used to create PDF or premium action? So it is not OneDrive. It is in our server. There's a tool included, and this tool is doing the conversion. So there is no extra, no OneDrive doing the conversion. It's included in our dox42 server.
Exactly. And then the question from Nancy for the Excel. So she was asking if the Excel can also be a template, and that the calculations on the fields in that Excel template can also be done instead of dragging and dropping the fields. I can also answer that, Nancy. Yes, that this is possible. So you can also design Excel templates, and you can have calculations on those fields. You don't drag and drop fields into Excel templates. You really work with calculations there.
Great. Then the question, can dox42 handle encrypted data? Say, can it encrypt data using JSON library crypto.json stored in a SharePoint list and use decrypted data in an Excel or Word document? Good question. Actually, we have an XML JSON data source, so you can, we can also, I'm not 100% sure to answer this question actually. So if we get the data encrypted and we need some kind of key or some, I'm not sure actually. I don't have an answer for this. We have to closer look at the scenario, the exact scenario, how the data is encrypted. But yeah, there are different. We also use a crypto data source, and we also have an XML JSON data source that is for us solving all the different different data that is stored differently. So I guess it is possible with our XML JSON data source.
Yeah, we're gonna take it with us.
Yeah, and are there any more questions so far?
Is license required to end users? So there is a server license. So we can talk about the general licensing separate, but there is a server license which can be used by an unlimited amount of users. So it doesn't matter if you're starting with a small scenario and later on you expand it, the more you use it, the better it is for you.
Exactly. And maybe I can also, you can still ask question, but I can just move one slide further. Don't forget to participate in our quiz. The Lego is waiting for you in our office to be sent. And actually it's over 1,000 pieces. So there is, during this COVID times, you have a little bit to do then to build this huge bus. And then there's one more thing for me to tell you. Next March 5th, because I'm more or less responsible for Business Central within dox42. And let's switch on the cameras. So I'm pretty happy to deliver a session in Business Central about document automation as well. And I'm pretty sure that we will, at the moment we are working on Business Central Online. So we will generate directly in Business Central Online. I hope that this will be done until next March. But you are also, if you work with Business Central, then join the session. I'm happy for this. And Lisa, it was a pleasure with you again. One more time.
From my side, exactly.
This time online, but I'm sure we will travel soon to on-site events together and then have the after-work beers as well.
Yeah, hopefully. But in the meanwhile, let's connect on LinkedIn, reach out to us. I think we even have LinkedIn QR codes on the last slide, which you can just, we're having a lot of QR codes today, but it's fun to work with this. You can add us directly there, or you can request a free trial and a personal online demo if you write either to us or to info@dox42.com, and we're happy to discuss your scenario with you.
And there's one last question, PDF not in this source, right? Yes, it is. You can also integrate PDFs. You can merge PDFs, no problem. You can also merge all the Office documents or PDFs, whatever you like. And you can even combine it. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Have a great session. Have a great following session. And Ras, once again, thank you so much for inviting us. And the word back to you, Ras, and see you soon.
Exactly. Thank you very much.